Wait, what is this shit?
Not safe for f***ing worker placement podcast.
I flipped the board. I despise that game. Oh, shit. That sounds like... Oh, wait. Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of the Not Safe for Worker Placement Podcast, a board game podcast brought to you by me, Leandra.
And me, Ben.
We're married and we're here to talk shit about board games.
That's right, baby, we are.
We're here to talk shit about board games.
I'm sorry, everybody. I am not sick. I am battling allergies, and we postponed it last week because of my allergies, and I sounded like this. And I told him, I said, babe, it's not going to get any better.
It's right before we start recording. She's totally fine, and then right before, in the evening, it comes on, and she's like,
I don't know what's going on, but...
So I apologize for all the sniffling you will hear in the next episode.
All right, well, episode 8 is here. It's a little delayed for reasons that were beyond our control. First, we delayed it one day because of Leandra's sniffles, but that turned out to be the least of our worries. We had a bit of a tragedy here in the family, and my dad, his shop burned down all of a sudden while he was outside working on his motorcycle, and he got pretty badly burned. So we've been dealing with that at the hospital, and then he came here for his aftercare. So we've been doing that. Leandra's burping right now.
I'm sorry. I'm drinking a beer, guys. I don't drink beer.
So much for my special episode.
I'm sorry.
Man.
I don't drink beer, so I apologize for the burping and the sniffling, and please proceed about poor Papa.
You have a lot of bodily functions happening all at once here, babe. Good Lord. Well, I'm used to it now after caring for an invalid old man. Yeah, that's been the delay. So thanks for everybody who's stuck by and came back to listen to us after a delay in recording. We're going to get right back to it. We're going to talk more about that in IRL. He's doing okay, by the way. He's just convalescing here, and he's a big pain in the ass, but we're glad that he's still alive, and could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
So I'm learning a lot about how I should have been a registered nurse instead of...
This man, I'm telling you, he's been changing dressings and doing all sorts of grossness that I refuse to do as the daughter-in-law, and...
It doesn't gross me out.
Props
it's kind of like
you, babe.
It's kind of like your kid. It's like, well, to me, like taking care of my grandma when she was sick. Once people are helpless, it's like a baby. When someone's helpless, you just got to do whatever you got to do. It doesn't.
But he's a baby, still telling us what to do.
I know that's kind of how that works. But, yeah, I'll give a little advice right here and now. If you're a person, if you're getting older, and you have any kind of like vices. If you have children and you love them and you don't want to be a burden on them, like let's say if you drink and you can't not go a day without drinking, stop drinking. It's when you get older, just stop, because there's going to come a time where you can't do it. Or if you smoke or if you chew tobacco. And you can't go a day or 8 hours without it, stop. For the love, if you care about anybody that's ever going to have to take care of you.
People, you can't have that shit in the hospital. We learned that the hard way.
Yeah, and it's a big pain in the ass, and you should just do that. If you care about your loved ones and you're getting older, you have any vices like that, it's fine when you're young and you can handle everything yourself, but whenever you're going to become a ward of someone else, or you think that might even be possible, it's time to take into consideration other people and just quit all those things. But not likely anybody's going to actually do that, but that's my advice.
That is our advice as the young ones. And we'll have to remember that when we get older, and we're still drinking my bottle of beer here, because I'll probably be drinking on it for the next month.
You'll still be drinking that when you're 80.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So we're going to have to take our own advice into account whenever Lily has to start wiping our behind. And
that's not going to be a problem. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't have anything like that it's like if I had to go in the hospital for a while, it wouldn't be a big thing. Like it would just be, I would go to the hospital.
We don't smoke, and we're not alcoholics. And
it's just kind of one of those things where you don't really consider it when you're young, but as you get older, you need to start considering things like that, because someone's going to have to start taking care of you, and the less pain in the ass you are, the better. But anyway,
our listeners don't want to hear about this. Let's talk about.
Well, they're going to hear about it because that's all that's going on.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. This is off the rails. Leandra, you can't drink any more beer. Not while we're recording.
I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
This has just become, beyond the pale, babe. Beyond the pale.
The Beyond the Pale Ale.
Oh my God. For real, stop drinking that. It's gross.
No,
That was right in my ears. I have headphones on. That was a stereo belch. I could smell it through my headphones. God almighty, woman. Okay, compose yourself.
Okay.
We have a podcast to do.
Yes, podcast. Sorry.
Oh God. Okay, I'm steering it back on the rails.
Yes. Reset.
Okay.
Recent board games.
Oh yeah, that's what we do, right? Board games. That's
Yeah,
what we're here to talk about.
board
That's what we
games.
said we were here to talk about. All right, so now the episode really begins, and we're going to start with the way we always start, talking about games we played recently. And actually, we haven't played any games very recently.
So
but
this is like last week's
a couple of weeks ago, we played a shitload of games in a row, so we got a lot to talk about.
So Laura at Pieces, she had said that her number one game to teach people who really didn't know about board games was,
Or if everybody should know. She
that
said
everyone, yeah, you're right, that everyone should know is Carcassonne.
Carcassonne. And we didn't have the heart to tell her at the time that, we're supposed to be big gamers and everything, but we had neither one ever played Carcassonne because it's one of those gateway games that I just skipped over. It didn't really appeal to me. Just the theme of building, tile laying games have never really been my thing.
Surprises me. Like I'm playing this game with you and my sister, and it surprises me that theme never appealed to you. It's very similar to all the like the little card game where you build your little city, and it's like Lantern, and it's like all these different things like that we already play. So how did that one?
I don't know. I just
not
always
appeal?
Because once I got into it, I went head first. I kind of surpassed we started with Catan and Lords of Waterdeep, and those were really the two gateway games that we played. And after that, we went to the deep end. Like we went to obscure games or heavier games right away. I was more interested in learning the heavier games. And I thought Carcassonne was just one of those things that when it would come out, it was getting played by... Actually, I didn't see it played very much either because it's an older game. Well, let's just talk about it. Carcassonne is designed by Klaus Jürgen Reed, and the version that we played is the new version, and it's published by Z-Man. And it's one of those games that... Classic game. It coined the term Meeple. So, like, I have a Meeple tattooed on my body, and that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the game of Carcassonne. That name for those pieces, anyway. It's about pulling a tile out of a bag or off of a stack, and then making a landscape out of it. And then you score in all these various ways for fields and cities, and it's such a Zen game. I thought it was really fun because like you just pull it out, and then you have a lot of decisions to make, but they're not taxing, because you don't have a choice what tile you get.
It was really fun.
It's interesting because you have no choice in what tile you get. That's random, but it's what you do with it, and you have a limited number of workers. Now, we started out playing with, I think, 3 expansions. There was the Abbot, and, no, I don't think we played with the Abbot because she didn't want to play with the river. But anyway, we played with the pigs. She being my
sister, by the way.
Yeah, your sister. We played with the pigs and the farmers, that's what it was, and the builder. And all that stuff added on still didn't make it very complicated.
No, not at all.
It was, and there's so many expansions. So now we have a problem that there's this new game that has like 1 million expansions that now I want to get. But, you can't play the vanilla. You have to have all the expansions.
Well, of course, in your world. And apparently Latoya's world, too, because she's like, I bought this expansion just so I could have the bag.
Yeah, and you got to have that. The bag is way better than stacks. But so you liked it?
I did. I liked it. And I liked that Uncle Sean played. How old is Uncle Sean? What is he like?
He's probably in his 50s.
Late 50s, maybe, And he's not a game player at all.
He plays stuff with us. But yeah, he was bored the whole time. Like he kept saying, this game sucks. This game's boring. But then he came in second place.
Yeah.
Because he kept playing it. Like he kept saying it's boring because there's a little bit of time
but
between
he kept on doing
turns.
great.
But he kept doing it, and he kept, there were still decisions
he caught on
to make.
really fast, and, it was a fun game. Like, I enjoyed playing with you and my sister and my uncle, and of course I came in dead last, but it was still fun. I want to play it again.
I thought I was doing well, and I was in second place until they started.
Toya, she is a competitive woman now.
Mm-hmm.
She is. Like, she wants to win every single game. She's kind of like Craig in that aspect. Like, they're out to win it.
Yeah. I didn't realize that the pastures was what could score you the most points. That's where she just lapped me. She just zoomed ahead on the pastures. I was like ahead, and then we started scoring pastures, and I had like one that I won, and she won like 3 of them and just got buku points off of that. So interesting, all the different ways. Now that I've played it once, I know a lot more about what we're doing going into it. And I think there are also some standalone versions of it that have different themes. Like there's one called the South Seas, which interests me, where you do the same thing, but there's beaches and little huts that you make. And then there are like water sections where you try to match up like fish types and stuff. So that seems interesting.
And the spelling is insane.
Carcassonne?
The spelling of this game is crazy.
It's a real city in France.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's about building the city.
Well, I'd
in
hate
France.
to be a first grader having to learn how to spell my town in that place.
All right, so we played Carcassonne and we both liked it. So now that's one less classic gateway that's off our list. And then we played some more Century Spice Road, which we've talked a lot about. Still a great game.
But this time you played with that awesome kick-ass mat.
Yes, I got a play mat from Plan B Games. My friend Catherine picked it up at Gen Con for me. They were sold out on the website, and so she picked up like the last 3 that they had. It looks really cool. Like, the game usually just lays out on the table, however. But the cool thing about having the mat, it's like a big, huge
mouse pad. It has the mouse pad feel.
Material. And it has really cool artwork, and it's got the place for all of the cards and each spot that you splay them out. And the good thing is you have to slide cards constantly in that game, and they slide really good on that mat. So we played more of that. Went really well. I won. Who's counting?
Who's counting, really?
And then we played my prototype again that we had mentioned in the last episode, and we played that, and it actually went really well.
Toya lost horribly.
Yeah, you actually came back to win. You were bitching the whole time that,
and I won that game.
You were like, I'm not doing anything. I can't win any tricks. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, boom, boom, boom,
yep,
you won.
Totally won.
So, little rule tweak in there that worked really well, and it went good. And then we played one that we talked about several episodes back, and we hadn't got to play yet. Lovecraft Letter by AEG. What do you think about it compared to regular Love Letter?
It was a nice, fun little twist. I liked it. Like, I'm a Lovecraft fan anyway. Wait, no, not a Lovecraft fan. I'm a
Love Letter
fan.
You're a Lovecraft fan too.
Not really. That's more of a you thing, but I'm a Love Letter fan.
Yeah.
I got the Christmas version, and we have Adventure Time version and the regular version. I take it with me when I go to China for the airplane. Like, I like it. It's fun. But yeah, this was a fun little twist, like it with giving the insane tokens with it, and
So let's tell a little bit how it works now. So like the basic Love Letter is just, I think it's 12 cards, and you just try to guess whoever has the highest card at the end of the round, and the rounds usually end pretty fast in regular Love Letter, and whoever has the highest card in their hand or is the only person left standing, not knocked out of the round, wins. In this one, there's more cards. You can play with more people, and there's a madness mechanic in it where some of the cards have a green number in the upper left-hand corner instead of just the regular black number, and if you play one of those, then you are considered to be insane. And so for the rest of the game, you have to flip a card off of the deck before you take your turn, and if it's another insane card, then you're out immediately. But if it's not, then you can play, and then you have access to all those cards with the green numbers, have a secondary ability on them that's stronger than the other one, and you can then play that. Now, the thing I noticed is we didn't really do that very often. Like, we tried to avoid the insanity more than we tried to use it.
Because having to burn that one card,
or really, 3. You have to burn a card for every one you play. Yeah, it could be tough. But yeah, I haven't played it enough yet to really figure out, how to utilize those, because how you win is there's these cool poker chips that come with it, and they have a insane side and a sane side. And if you win the round and you have no insanity in your discard, then you get a sane side, and you only need to have 2 of those face up to win the round. And then you need 3 insane ones. So it's harder to win insane, but we did it. A couple of us won insane. So it's interesting. I think it's a little bit more fun than Love Letter. And if nothing else, it's able to play with more players, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Because I think it'll play up to like 8 people right out of the box, which is cool, because I think Love Letter would only play 4.
I could play that one in Hong Kong or on the airplane next month.
No, that's an awesome copy, man. You ain't taking that on an airplane.
Why not?
Because you got regular love letter. You just do that. And you made fun of me for sleeving regular love letter.
I did.
And this one comes with sleeves.
It did. And he made sure to point that out. Look, it comes with sleeves.
That's right. I'm not weird. You're weird. All right. And then I think that's pretty much all we played there at that game day. But we had a Sunday off following that. And we had a lazy Sunday, which we love. And we brought out one that we played with Lily. What was that, babe?
Ice Cool.
Ice Cool.
And who's that made by?
That is designed by Brian Gomez and published by Brain Games.
That was a super fun little dexterity game. So you've got these little like weeble wobble penguins. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So you got these little weeble wobble penguins, and the board itself hooks up with these little wooden fish, and then in each little box that hooks up to each other has
the
an
box
opening.
Stores.
The box
is
stores
cool
and
because
makes
the box pulls out like there's 5 boxes inside of
and
one
that
box.
makes the play
makes the
area.
board.
And so the whole idea is you have to flick your little penguins through the holes, the doorways through the connected boxes. And if you can get through, then you get your color fish.
Yeah.
Well, one person per round has to be like the bad guy.
The catcher.
The catcher.
The theme is you're at a high school for
I forgot
penguins.
the theme. I'm
the
sorry.
theme is it's ice cool high school. That's it. So you're supposed to be penguins in high school, and you're trying to sneak around to get the fish while you're supposed to be in class. And one person every round plays the catcher or the teacher that's trying to catch you and get you back to class. So that's the idea.
I also liked that each of the player cards were double-sided. One side was the boy version and one side was the girl version. Lily and I liked that a lot.
Cute little penguins.
Yeah. And so it was a cute little game.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I love dexterity games anyway. And this one, I mean, there's a way to, I've seen online these, like tutorials of it and how you can flick them and make them curve. And yeah, we did that, but we did it mostly on accident. Like I kept trying to curve them and stuff. And I was like, oh, they would never go the way I wanted.
I flicked it off the table one time.
Yeah, you did that. Then there's something in the rules for that. They account for that. But there is the one trick move that I always thought was fun, and I love to do it in like pool, where you like jump a ball. Like, you hit real low on the cue ball and jump it over another ball. That's my favorite thing in pool. And in this one, you can do that. You can flick them. If you flick the little weeble wobble on the very top of it, it will jump, and you can jump from one room to the other, which is really cool if you're the catcher, because you can you can be all the way across the board and then just jump
Skip
right
over like 3 rooms.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, and Lily liked it.
Lily loved it.
She didn't love that she didn't win. Like every game, if she doesn't win it, we don't take it easy on her either. I mean, we'll give her a little bit of leeway here and there on the rules, but we play just like we're gonna play. And she had
a lot of fun.
She had a lot of fun while we were doing it, but as soon as it was over, she's like, I was terrible at that game.
Mommy won.
Mommy won. Yeah. You were killing it on that one. Which is weird because you're not very good at most dexterity games.
You're not very good at most dexterity games.
Yes, I am very good at dexterity games. Thank you very much. But yeah, this was an equalizer. Like I felt like everybody had pretty much as good a chance to win.
I think I had an advantage because I have acrylic nails.
You think that helped?
Yeah, it helps me flick them.
I was sure you were going to break one, and then it was going to be the end of everything.
Oh, I would have had a heart attack. Meltdown. Broke one of my nails.
No, I thought that was sure to happen, but it didn't. So, Ice Cool is a hit, and hopefully we can get that back out again and play some more with Lily. It's always good to get a game that she actually enjoys.
Heck yeah, I love doing our family games.
And then after that, we played Papa Paulo. It is a game by Fabrice Vanderboegdier. Oh, that's not right. Fabrice Vandenbogaerde.
Wait, Fabrice?
Fabrice. Not Febreze, babe. Stop doing your word association.
Oh, sorry.
Fabrice. I don't know what nationality he is, but he's got a really long last name.
Wouldn't you assume it was Italian since it's about making pizza?
I think it's Italian. I think you're right. It's published by Quinted Games, and it's a really cool... what got me on it was the theme. It's about delivering pizzas and building up your pizzeria in Italy. I should know this, but I don't remember. Takes place in the city where pizza was supposedly invented. Whatever the name of that place is, I don't remember. But maybe it's Sao Paulo?
You're making shit up.
Well, it's the name of it's Papa Paulo. I'm just guessing. But anyway, wherever this takes place in Italy is where pizza is supposedly invented. But it's a modern day game, so you're delivering pizzas on foot, on mopeds, in pizza trucks,
by airplane,
in jets, all kinds of ways. So it's kind of silly like that. It's got really cool artwork, I think. pieces, the wooden pieces are crazy in this game because everybody gets about 50, and you get 4 little dudes on mopeds. Those are your workers for the worker placement part. You get a little pizza chef meeple, and then you get like 46 or 45 pizzas, the little square wooden pizza boxes. And you have to put stickers on every single piece of wood in that game.
Sitting down, and he's like, I want you to appreciate the time that I spent putting stickers on all these damn wooden pieces.
It was worth it, though. It was totally worth it. No, I mean, literally, it was about 2 hours.
I don't remember who won.
You won.
Oh.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, you won. So it's about, like I said, it's about building up. But you do it in this interesting way where there's a grid of tiles that come out every round, and they can be used in multiple ways. So you do your worker placement where you put your worker down on one of these tiles, and you can either take that tile and add it in front of you. You're building out a map, kind of like Carcassonne we were talking about. You're building a route from your main pizzeria tile out. One thing I forgot to tell Lee at the beginning of the game is that you're not supposed to keep a minimum, or you can maximum city size can be 4 by 5.
He did
I
not
forgot to tell you that,
this.
so she built this weird sprawling city that went everywhere, but that's fine.
And I won.
That's because you cheated. But
I didn't cheat. You didn't tell me.
I stayed within the rules.
It's not cheating if I didn't know.
That's true. So you can either take one of those tiles that you place your worker on to add to your neighborhood, or you can use an action that corresponds to either the row or the column that you placed your guy. So you're doing that, and those actions can be building a new pizzeria, getting income, getting ingredients, which means getting more pizzas, or there's one other, making an express delivery, which you have to pay money for, but you can immediately just deliver one pizza to anywhere on your map. And you're also fighting for majority in the rows and columns because there's money that's put out randomly on each of the rows and columns. And if you win the majority in those row or columns of workers, then you get that money, which you need money. The money's tight in this game. So after you do that, then you go into an auction round where you have to get a delivery tile in order that will tell you how far away from your pizzeria you can deliver and how many pizzas you can deliver. I found that in a 2-player game, that part didn't really matter much. It wasn't ever a factor. Really, we didn't care which one we got.
The bidding part?
The bidding part, yeah.
Yeah.
In a multiplayer game, the bidding works differently, and it's much more of an actual game. It's an actual auction because you have to outbid or move. It works in a column and row thing too, and each column has a different delivery tile, and so you have to bid up to get higher into the better columns. But we didn't really see that with a 2-player game. It was kind of a throwaway round.
Except that at the very last round, I bid 4, and that forced you to bid 6, and your eyeballs got really big. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh no, I don't have enough money to pay 6.
I only had $5, and the minimum you can bid just 1, and there's some development tile. There's these other tiles that you get after you get the delivery tile. You can do that, but you can't get a delivery tile, which means you can't deliver any pizzas.
I mean, he was going to lose anyway, but I really could have screwed him over because thankfully I had way more money than he did. So I went ahead and took the $6 bid so he could have the $4 bid. And I told him, if you win, you didn't really win.
Well, I said also, you should do this for me because if I did that to you, you would cry.
He did say that. You would cry.
And I was about to cry if you didn't let me do it. I wanted to at least deliver all my pizzas, damn it. So anyway, at the end, you look at your board and you see how much you've upgraded those different areas of delivery and ingredients and money, and you get extra points based on that, and you get points for every pizza that's on your map that you delivered, and you have to get negative points for every pizza that's in your pizzerias that you didn't get to deliver, which I got 1 negative point and Lee got none. She had delivered all hers. Interesting game. I think it's really cool. I want to play it.
Surprisingly enough, we didn't have pizza for dinner that night.
No, we should have.
I know.
We should have definitely. But I want to play it multiplayer so we can see that other part of the game, the other half that didn't really come into play here. But I thought it was really cool.
It was fun.
It was really fun. Simpler than I thought it was going to be. When you're setting it up, the board,
the
board is
board.
kind of crazy. It's hard to figure out what's going on, but very simple once you get playing it. So that's Papa Paulo. by Quined Games. And then we had talked before about favorite types of games, and Lee said her all-time favorite type of game, theme-wise, was Gothic horror. And this whole time, I've had A Touch of Evil sitting on my shelf, and we'd only tried to play it once. I played it several times away from here, but Lee had only tried to play it one night late when she was way too inebriated and sleepy, and doesn't even remember it, right? You don't even remember?
I did not remember it at all. It was like a brand new game and you whipped it out.
So, yeah, I started setting it up, and you were like, man, this is a big game. It has so many decks of cards and stuff. What do you think? Tell us a little bit about A Touch of Evil.
First of all, I love that it was co-op. I love being able to play. Of course, those are my favorite kind of games.
Well, and that's interesting, too, because it can be played either competitively, where it's every man for themselves, or cooperatively, or on teams where it's one team versus the other. So it's really flexible in that way.
I loved it. Like you said, it's right up my alley, my type of theme. But the board, I like the dark, spooky artwork on the board. I like that the card artwork were actually people, actual people that were dressed up. Like that was super fun. The play of the game was fun. Like I really enjoyed it, and I know I'm not very good at explaining games like you are. Besides other than saying that I liked it.
The theme of it is that it's basically because we watched that night. We watched Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow,
and you were like, "Oh, there's a lot of similarities." Yeah, yeah. This game is basically Sleepy Hollow, the game.
Well, yeah. What was the one word though?
Oh, the magistrate.
Magistrate.
You're
yeah.
Like, what's a magistrate?
I didn't know what a magistrate was.
And then I didn't say the right thing anyway. I was like, it's like the town sheriff, right? But I think it's like the lawyer of the town.
Yeah, because then it was mentioned in Sleepy Hollow too.
Yeah, there was a magistrate there. So in basically you everything's random in this game. Like you start out and you randomly pick a bad guy that you're going to fight. And so the villain this time was the Scarecrow. And so then you pull out the Scarecrow's sheet, and it tells you, what its special abilities are and stuff, and what you're going to have to go up against when you find them. And then it gets its own other sheet that has its individual minions on it. And each villain has different minions. Like the Scarecrow had, what do you have? Locust Swarm and bats, crows.
Yeah, it was the crows.
And they all have their own special abilities. So that's the first random thing. And then every on the corner of each corner of the board, there is a location. There's the windmill and the abandoned keep and the woods, haunted woods.
And you have to go in and you have to search for things. That way you can kind of buff up your character. Because we could have just dove right in and tried to fight that Scarecrow, but we would have completely died.
Yeah, because your character kept getting, the currency in the game is, what is it? Valor or I don't know, something.
I don't remember.
It's like you get, for doing things, you get these tokens. I can't remember what they're called. I don't think it's Valor. But anyway, they're the currency of the game. And your character got 2 at the beginning of their turn every time.
Yeah, I was loaded.
You were loaded. So we could have fought the bad guy right away.
Yeah, you had to have so much money. And the longer you wait, the more expensive it is to find the bad guy. And
no, the cheaper it is, but the more powerful he becomes.
That's right. Yeah. The cheaper it was, but the more powerful he came. So we were ready, but we knew we had to keep on trying to explore to buff up our people. And I ended up with this cute little puppy dog.
Yeah, you got, what was it? Franklin.
He was a mastiff.
He was a big old mastiff.
He was so cute.
You got Franklin. We killed
the townspeople.
Yeah, he killed almost all. So like you get these townspeople that you have to determine whether or not, they all have secrets randomly placed out underneath them at the beginning of the game. And those secrets can say whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. And if they're good or indifferent, so if they're good, sometimes they'll give you a bonus if you look at their secret. But if they're bad, they usually get right away become part of the bad guy's team, and they'll fight with him. And so he kept killing all the elders. So there was only 3 left at the end, and he had gotten one of them on his side. But we got 1 apiece. So at the end, we were overloaded because right at the very end, we pulled a militia card. So there was a militia there. There was us that had all these weapons on them. I had 3 guns. We
killed that Scarecrow, babe.
Yeah, he barely touched us. He hit us a couple times, but we had a healing. But at that time, I was rolling 8 dice every time. He was rolling 8 dice too, I think.
Yeah, he was.
I was rolling 8 dice just on my base attack, and then we had some extra cards to stop from getting hurt. And but we did overkill once we got there. But It was fun. It's just a fun game getting to that point. It's
It was fun.
It's like I almost didn't want to fight the bad guy. I was like, this is fun just to flip cards and see what happens. Because
I mean, who knew it was in the basement the whole time?
Well, I did, but I
I
tried to
didn't.
play it before. And
Well, it looks like such an intimidating game. And I'm not used to games where it has actual people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that kind of threw me off. I think the artwork kind of threw me off. And just when I was just looking at the box.
A lot of people don't like that artwork.
Well, because it
but I
kind
think
of
it's
looks
cool.
cheesy. It kind of looks like a B game. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because it's like real pictures rather than an awesome drawing. You know
That's
what I mean?
kind of Flying Frog's MO leading up to that was like they were making games to be kind of these B movie style games. So like that was intended to be kind of cheesy, you know?
Well,
And
I didn't realize that. So
Yeah.
that's why I think I was kind of turned off by it just sitting in the basement. And even though it was my fave theme, you know. But I'm totally glad we dug into it because I
I'm going to
liked
have to
it.
get the expansions for that because they come with new boards with all new stuff and new cards and new locations. And that's all the fun of that game is just going around checking out the different
Because
stuff.
then we watched Sleepy Hollow.
It was
We
perfect.
scared the shit out of our daughter. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
She wanted to watch something spooky, and we're like, well, you know, you're not quite old enough for some other, you know, some of these other Halloween movies. But I was like, Sleepy Hollow, that's good, right? You know, that's a Tim Burton movie. She loves Tim. It was one of the few that she hadn't
loves Tim
seen.
Burton.
And then right away, I was like, oh, there's a lot of people getting their heads chopped off in this movie, like straight up chopped off right on camera and blood
Straight
flying out.
up.
Every time somebody's head gets chopped off, somebody's just in the right angle to get blood on their face while they're
But,
looking at somebody get their head chopped off.
There's not that many movies out there that don't incorporate sex or sexual scenes.
That one had one.
But it wasn't bad.
No.
It wasn't bad at all. Like, you know, trying to find a good scary movie, not a gory, not a sexy movie that she would watch.
I don't mind
you know?
nudity. Like, I don't care if she sees a naked person, but I don't want her, you know, just because, I guess, propriety is the reason. But I don't want to explain shit, you know.
No.
But I don't want her to be like ashamed of naked people or anything like that.
I don't
that doesn't
either.
bother me.
But I don't want
No.
my child seeing sex scenes.
No.
Absolutely not.
No. So,
But that's hard to find on good older movies, like good scary older movies. You know, like give me a good B movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That just scares
But most
the
of
hell
them
out
are
of you.
too gross.
But they're always sex scenes
Yeah.
in them.
Well, yeah,
always.
you can't get killed in a movie
Unless
unless you
you're
have
half
sex.
naked.
Yeah, you got to have sex first, and then you die. That's the key.
That's how it works.
But yeah, I think she's a little ways away from any of those type movies. But I'm hoping she'll be my horror movie buddy later on when she gets older. Because you're definitely not.
I'm not.
I don't think she's gonna be. She's a weenie.
I'm more of a Sixth Sense kind of girl.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the horror movies.
Lily loves the idea of them, but then when it comes down to it, like she kept saying, "Dad, I want to watch The Ring. Can you tell me about The Ring?" So I told her the whole plot of The Ring, you know. But I'm like, no, you can't watch that. You'll never sleep again.
No.
And then she's
you
like,
turned on the trailer of Annabelle and she started crying like she was 2 years old again.
I was looking on line and I was like, oh, there's Annabelle right there. We could watch
Don't,
that.
Daddy.
And she goes, well, at first she goes, yeah. The other day she was like, yeah, I want to watch Annabelle. And then I put it on there and I'm like, we could check this out. And I just, 1 second of the trailer came on and she started bawling.
Like crying like she was a toddler, like an infant, like mouth wide open. It's like, oh my God, what's happening right now?
I don't think we're quite there yet. But so that was A Touch of Evil, the supernatural board game. Now, Flying Frog has made a bunch of those kind of games, and their newer game, I also have 2 giant boxes of in there called Shadows of Brimstone. And that is Wild West meets Cthulhu style.
That sounds horrible.
Well, you don't like that thing? The
No.
idea of that?
No.
Remember you've seen the miniatures that I painted
that
and
sounds
stuff?
horrible.
That's great. But it's not only just Cthulhu. It's like Wild West meets rips in other dimensions. Like they go through portals and they can go to like this ice world or a jungle infested, or there's like one where you can go into a spaceship, like an abandoned spaceship. So it's just basically taking cowboys and Indians and then putting them in these weird situations where you have to fight stuff. I'd like to try that. That's a departure for them though. They actually went with like artwork for that, original artwork instead of doing the cosplay pictures thing like they are used to doing. But that's it for that.
So, we've not heard from Moon City yet. Yeah.
Well, it's probably about time for an ad.
I think it
is that what you're saying?
I think it is.
Okay. We'll be right back after this ad for Moon City Con. Hello, all you geeky gals and guys. Have you ever wanted to go to a board game convention in Southwest Missouri? Well, guess what? Come April 14th and 15th, you're in luck. The Moon City Con is coming to Springfield, Missouri, brought to you by the 417 Gamers. And right now, you can get your special Founders Bundle that comes with 2-day passes and one Founders Exclusive Run t-shirt right now at www.mooncitycon.com. Don't miss out. These tickets are going fast and the discounted rates will not last. We'll see you in Springfield for the Moon City Con. All right, we're back from that ad. Now it's time for our featured segment. What's our featured segment this week, babe?
Well, we kind of struggled with it a little bit. Like, we've talked about everything awesome. Like,
Yeah,
you know
7
what I mean?
episodes in, we've covered it all.
We really have. I think you're being sarcastic right now, but I feel like we really have. So we came up with ideal gaming situations. Like, what's your favorite and least favorite way to play a game?
Yeah, like, and I broke it down to kind of like the people you like to play with, the places, and the atmosphere that you like to have, because to me, that's half the battle of like playing games. Like, I always have an ideal thing that's like, okay, we're having a game night tonight. It's going to be like this in my head. And then it very rarely is actually like that. And if it's not like that, like if it's kind of like anything, I'm kind of particular. If something throws a monkey wrench in what I think is going to happen, then I like don't handle it very well.
That's the truth.
So it's the same thing with like that. It's like my ideal thing versus the reality of what I want. So if you had to pick like an ideal game night or day or whatever, like what would that consist of? Do you have your thought about that at all?
Well, yeah, kind of. I have a couple different scenarios. I think my favorite way to play games, honestly, is co-op with you. Just me and you upstairs in the dining room. Me freezing my ass off in front of the air conditioner. Lily watching the iPad in the living room. It's just us little three. And outside of my comfort zone, I really like to go into Craig's house and playing board games over there. That
on
was
his big
fun.
game day?
Yeah, on his big game day. That was super fun. And that was several people I didn't know and several different tables with different games going all at the same time. And I assume that's something similar to what you do when you go to the 417 Gamers in Springfield.
Similar, yeah. Except this is more of a, more fun food and drinks and, everything like that, It's really fun. I like people that have big board game days at home. Like our friends Steve and Amy used to do that. And everybody brings some food and, drinks, and then just have every part of the house, basement, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere there's room, you just play games,
That's really neat. I didn't know they
fun.
did that.
Yeah, I'd like to do that here sometime, but we don't have as much space. Like we have a lot of space, but it like fills up weirdly. If we have parties here, it's like we seem like we have a big house, but then as soon as we get people in it, it's like we get cramped really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But so, what's your least favorite way to play a game? Like, if I ever put you in a position, or have you ever been somewhere and been in a position, where you're playing games and you're excited about it, but then it's like, oh wait.
Yes, I do not care for meeting a new person that I'm already nervous to meet and then playing a new game. It's like somehow I've done that a couple different times and I always end up playing a new game. It's like, okay, if I'm going to be nervous about meeting a new person, at least let me play a game I already know. Don't make me have to learn a new game and a new person. That's like a double whammy. I hate that situation.
I get that. I totally get that. I'm the same way, just meeting people in general. Is there any type of atmosphere, like, then that could be the same thing as people and place, but all mixed together. Like you said, your favorite is home, with us. So that's the very familial atmosphere, something very familiar. Is there any other type of thing that you could think of that you would like? Like,
no,
not really. That's just your favorite.
But I don't really get out as much as you do as far as playing games is concerned. I've been with you one time to play.
A couple of times, I think. But anyway,
twice, I think. But yeah, I mean, that's again, meeting new people, playing new games. So for me, my anxiety level kind of goes up a little bit. So that's why I would prefer, if I'm going to meet new people, I would prefer to at least play games that I'm already comfortable playing.
Gotcha. Well, for me, it's like I liked playing games and started out playing games pretty much just me and you. And then when you introduced me to Vaughn was already a member of this game group that I am with now. And he asked me to go up there to a game night. Have I ever been to a game night? No. And I went up there and I was super nervous like you because I knew everybody there. It was going to be someone new I've never met, which makes me nervous anyway. It's my least favorite thing to do. And I am one of those extroverted introverts where like I'm introverted and I don't want to meet people, but then whenever I know I'm going to be forced to, I like have to put on the show. I have to like, for some reason, I would rather make a spectacle of myself than sit in there and be a wallflower. You know what I mean? So I jump right in and start playing with everybody. And lo and behold, I really liked it. I don't think I really think a game store is the perfect place to play games, but I've done it so much now where I'm comfortable with it. It's absolutely not my favorite, but...
What's your favorite?
My favorite, if I have my ideal place, it's my house here in the basement at the game table, with music on and drinks and playing a game,
No food, not allowed on the table.
No food on the table. That is absolutely, yeah. Food would be completely kept on a different level of the house. Never enter here, and no one would need to wipe their hands or anything like that. It would be perfect.
What about condensation on your drinks?
That's okay. I don't mind that.
How is that okay? You have paper cards, like paper.
Well, you're not animals. I mean, you wipe your hands off.
Well, then it goes the same way with food. We're not animals. We still wipe our hands off.
No, you guys are animals. It's like crumbs everywhere.
You just said we're not animals.
But I lied. You are animals.
Oh, okay.
So condensation, not so bad. That's why I sleeve cards, babe. Protects them.
Oh.
So, no food, drinks, basement, good game, music. That's my ideal
He
thing.
literally has background music for different types of games.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing a post-apocalyptic game, I've got, like Mad Max soundtracks. And if we're playing D&D, I've got, like Elder Scrolls soundtrack and stuff like that.
People
yeah.
like you
Star
can hear
Wars,
swords
of course.
clinking together. And
you got to have Star Wars.
Well, yeah.
All those soundtracks.
I mean, really.
So that's my ideal thing. People wise, I really do like playing with the same people a lot. I am nervous, like we've been talking about, to meet new people at all times. But sometimes all these people that I'm playing games with, I had to meet them all, fairly recently within the last 3 years or so. And some of them have become really good friends. So it's better for me if I'm meeting new people. I'm kind of the opposite of you. If I'm meeting new people, I want to be playing a game, and I want something to detract from us just staring at each other and realizing that we don't know each other.
I totally agree to that. I'd rather play a game and have something to talk about and something to do, but I don't want to play a game that I don't know.
Oh, that doesn't bother me. That part doesn't really ever bother me though. But I see what you're saying. But yeah, definitely that to me softens the blow of meeting new people, and it's an icebreaker, and it's gotten me out of my shell way more. Like I go out more in public now and do things than I ever did. And, it's led to like business opportunities and all these other things. So it's a good way to get me out of my shell. But atmosphere wise, we do some game nights at like bars and stuff. And I really like that because I love the bar atmosphere, like not every bar, but like an Irish pub style bar, which is pretty much what our basement is made around. That's just a great atmosphere to me, and whenever you have a whole back room to yourself at some place like that and you've got people playing games, I think that's super fun. My least favorite type of thing is, I don't know, maybe going to a stranger's house like that. Like if I'm going to a game day at somewhere that I've never been, it's always very nerve-wracking to begin with.
Well, yeah, do they have dogs? Do they have children with icky fingers? Do they have a table that's big enough? Do they have... there's all these different variables that play into playing a nice board game.
They usually turn out fine, but they're anxiety ridden to begin with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I don't really have
anxiety ridden family.
I think that's it. I don't really have a time that is not fun. I'm pretty obsessed with games, so I pretty much will play games anywhere, anytime I can. We've played, and let's talk about that because it's kind of interesting. We've played games in some weird ass places. Like you've played games on airplanes, hotels. We played games in hospital rooms. My grandma was sick and dying, and we were in the hospital every single day.
The lights off,
very boring.
No noise.
Yeah, and so late we were playing like a travel Catan edition in the dark where we could barely see what was happening. And we've played on the bed at hotel rooms, and we've played games in some weird places. So any place is a good place as long as you've got someone fun to play
Well, that
with.
was a Game of Thrones game, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Hand of the King, I think. Yeah, I haven't played that since. It was kind of a fun little game.
That was a fun little game.
So it's interesting all the weird places you can play games if you want to, and I think that's all about who you're with. If you're with cool people, you could play a game anywhere. The place and the atmosphere doesn't really matter. I think it's more about the people.
I think the weirdest for me is on my trips to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I just lay out the back of the tray from the the seat in front of me and play a little love letter.
How fast do you guys get bored of that stuff?
Dude, it's rough.
Is it like
14-hour flights?
Yeah, you're like
that takes a long
15 minutes
time.
and you're like, oh god, okay, we're bored of this now.
I bring my coloring and Gilmore Girls and Downton Abbey and all that fun stuff.
That's a long flight, baby.
It's a long flight.
Yeah.
Next month.
So that's our feature segment for today. Just a little idea. Now, why don't you guys go on our Facebook page or our website and comment and tell us your favorite people, places, and atmospheres to play games in.
Or if you have any ideas for a future featured segment, what topic would you like to hear about?
Yeah, sure. Shoot it at us. We'd like any comments on our posts and stuff, because just interaction with people who are listening. Let us know what you guys actually want to hear. And with that, we are going to move on to IRL. All right, babe, we're here with IRL. That's what that theme song you just heard was all about.
Awesome.
You're perturbed with me now, aren't you?
I'm not perturbed, baby.
We had to make it blow up earlier in the recording session because I was being a jerk whenever she made a funny joke. It was funny too, but I didn't react right, and then we've been a little tense in the rest of the recording. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say.
Well, I love you very much.
I love you very much, you jerkhole.
And one of the reasons now we're in IRL, one of the reasons I love you is because of how much you've rolled with this whole situation with my dad. I'm very glad you're on my team because I could not do it by myself. And I don't know how much more there is to talk about it because there's no real...
It's just a big thing in our life
just a
right
big
now.
thing. And the biggest thing I would say about it is Leandra and I both had rough childhoods, and I don't want to say that in a way that I know that there's probably a lot of people out there that have way worse than we did. But subjectively to us, there was some rough things, and we have to look at our parents and try to understand what they were doing and what they did well and give them credit for that and what they failed at and try to learn from it. And I always say that the most things I learned from my dad was what not to do. And I'm still doing that to this day.
Are still doing that.
I think I'm a better man
1000%
for learning what not to do, and that is an important lesson. If that's all someone can teach you, if you're willing to learn that, then I think that's good. So if
you've learned it well, my love.
If you've got parents that are hard to deal with, just try to remember you're learning every day what not to do to your kids, or how not to act and how not to make them feel a certain way. So this whole experience to me is it's showing me that I can rise above what I feel like I want to do and just do what I know is right. You know what I mean?
This time last year, we were not saying things like we'll take care of him and clean up after him and feed him and this kind of thing. I was...
Because he showed that he wasn't willing to do that for other people.
Nope.
And, but again, to me, that's almost irrelevant because we're not him and we're here to do better. And, like Lee said, maybe he'll realize but no, I don't think that. I don't think you can ever do anything in the hopes that you're going to change anyone. You've got to just do it for yourself. So I don't anticipate anything ever changing with our relationship with my father, but I do know that when it comes down to it, it can never be said that we didn't do the right thing.
We did. We did.
And I think that's important for everybody to remember.
And honestly, your grandmother played a big part in me having as much patience as I have, because I don't want that woman to haunt me.
Yeah, my grandma passed away
In March.
in March of this year. And so we just know that if we didn't do the right thing here, she definitely would be upset with us. So, we have to do what she can't do. So,
yep. Let's take care of her son.
So that's pretty much it for that part. So that's our life right now. It's kind of topsy-turvy.
But you know what, baby?
But we're in it
that
together.
man loves our daughter.
Yeah, he's a pretty good papa.
He's a great papa.
That's what we are holding on for. And Lily, even tonight, Lily said, Papa, you should just live with us forever.
But your tongue,
and I was like,
girl.
But she said, my papa living with me? That's great.
Oh,
and so
God.
she was,
Lily, stop
she's
talking.
loving it though. She's loving it.
Yeah, she is.
So that's good. That's
so sorry
the
we're
bright
talking
spot.
about it so much. It's just that's really been our life
That's
the last.
it. I mean, this is IRL, and that's as real life as it
That's as
gets.
real life
when
as it
someone
is.
gets, very badly injured, and they have nobody else to take care of them, you have to step up. And so, hopefully someday if we need that sort of treatment, we won't have as much ill will towards us.
I hope not.
So
we're in it together, baby.
We're in it together. So that's it for that part. Now let's move on to some happier things, because we actually are, 2 weeks later than we normally record. And 2 weeks ago was Labor Day.
Yes.
And Labor Day weekend, we had an awesome weekend.
You had the Saturday off.
Yes, I got a weekend off,
nice.
which doesn't happen all the time.
No.
And what did we do on that weekend?
We went to the creek and we took Lily's little friend with us, and the girls had so much fun, and you and I just got to relax and
just packed up the car with some lawn chairs and some drinks, and bought some fried chicken to take down with us, and just threw it on the sandbar and let them play in the river.
Oh, it was a blast.
It was a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend.
We played what was that game?
What game?
In the water.
Oh, badminton.
Badminton.
Yeah,
Yes,
but some kind of weird, super cheap, small badminton
that's
thing.
okay.
We were not. I don't think we got one volley the whole time. It was just
No,
like hit
it
it,
was
goes in the
super
water. Hit it, goes in the
fun.
water.
It was fun. I had a blast.
Yeah,
We lied to our daughter. There was there's a
rope swing
underneath this very crickety bridge that needs to be torn down and condemned for life. And
that we drove over.
That we drove over. And so we told her that all these children are over there swinging on this rope swing, and I want to do that. And I just lied. I mean, that's what any reasonable mother does, right? Nope, sorry. The rules are you have to be 10 in order to play on the rope swing.
Yep. And she's like, that little girl's not 10. I said, well, she's not following the rules.
She's not following the rules. The cops are going to get her. So, that's what any reasonable mother does, is they lie to their children. So
that's right.
Yes.
That'll never come back to haunt us.
Nope, not at all.
So they had a great time floating around on little floaties and getting wet and splashing around in the creek. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Sunday we stayed home and played games.
Yep, that was the wrap up to our Labor Day weekend.
What we do on Monday? Or maybe relaxing. That was Monday.
That was on. That was Monday. I think
that was Monday. We
Labor
stayed
Day.
home.
Or it was Monday. Yeah, when we played games. Yeah, you're right. So that was Sunday that we went to the creek, I think. But it was good. So ending on a positive note. Oh, there's one other thing that's been going on. You guys have heard the ads for the last few weeks, and if it's official now. It's been put off a little bit because of just logistics and things and getting the website ready. But Moon City Con is now a real thing, and the tickets are available, and they're going fast, actually. If you want to get in on a founder's ticket, which includes a bundle of a discounted ticket and a t-shirt that I designed that's limited edition. There's only going to be 35 ever done, and there's about less than 20 available now, I think. You can go to www.mooncitycon.com, and pinned to the top of the page is the order form. So you can get discounted tickets. They're only $30 right now, and the t-shirt's $20 if you buy right now. If you wait until the 1st of October, then you can buy the ticket separate and t-shirt separate, but they're both going to be more. So if you want to get in now. And if you missed that, though, we will have an exclusive Halloween style t-shirt I just designed it last weekend.
It's cool.
And it'll be available starting in October. So even though the con's in April, you can still have a cool Halloween shirt to wear in the meantime. So get on over there to mooncitycon.com and like us on Facebook and Twitter. And hopefully April 14th and 15th, if you're around the Springfield, Missouri area, we'll see you there. It's a big venture, we got into it with some friends, and they all just they invited me and Vaughn in. We're the kind of out-of-town guys, We're from a different town than everybody else. And we formed an LLC, and we decided to make this thing a real deal. I mean, we've all been to cons and like cons and wish that there was one closer than the closest one here is in St. Louis. And it'd be nice to have a real board game con close. And so we thought if nobody else is going to do it, we'll do it ourselves. And so first year, we really need support. So if you're in this area, come on out. And I promise it'll be a good time.
I'll be there, baby.
You'll be there. There's going to be, we're going to have a huge library, probably 300 plus games. We'll have raffles. Well, I don't know if we'll have raffles, but we'll definitely have play and wins. I don't know if we can have raffles legally. There's a weird legal thing to do with a certain kind of company. But we definitely can do play and wins, and we're going to do tournaments with prizes and all kinds of good stuff like that. I know there's going to be a big Scythe tournament, and we're going to even extend an invitation to Jamie Stegmeyer to come down and give a free ticket. And, if we're having a big Scythe tournament and maybe play some viticulture and stuff, I don't know. That's a long shot, but you never know.
Hey, at least extend the invitation.
Yeah, maybe we'll announce a guest of honor soon, hopefully.
Ooh, I'd like to meet him.
Yeah, he's cool. I've met him before.
It's my favorite game.
Yeah, viticulture is your favorite.
That and Mice and Mystics.
Yeah, I don't know if Jerry's going to come up from Dallas, but you never know. I could extend the invitation.
You might as well.
So I would appreciate your support. Even if nothing else, get yourself a t-shirt, because so come the 1st of October, you can get those t-shirts separate, and that supports the cause and get you a cool t-shirt.
Awesome.
So that's Moon City Con in Springfield, Missouri, April 14th and 15th. And I think with that, that's going to wrap up episode number 8, babe. It's been a topsy-turvy wild ride, hasn't it?
It's been a rough one.
We almost quit right in the middle of it. We're like, this ain't working out.
Nope.
Leandra belched all over the whole thing, and it was great.
Thanks, babe.
How's that beer treating you? You drank about 3/4 of it.
I'm done.
You done with it?
Yeah.
I'm proud that you tried.
I did. I tried. That's more than I think I've drank in a long time for a beer.
You were just out of wine.
I'm out of wine. I mean, let's be honest. I'm out of wine.
Desperation's taken hold.
Yeah.
Well,
I was pretty desperate.
Until next time, hopefully next week, we can get back on a regular type schedule. So. We'll be back with episode number 9, where we talk about some such other things having to do with board games. Babe, there's somebody I've been wanting you to meet. I've got him in my pocket here.
Yeah.
He's a cute little feller. Look at him.
What
He's
an awesome
wiggling.
segue.
It's Maurice, the gassy meatball again.
Oh, God.
Oh no, what are you doing to me?
Oh, sorry. I squeezed you too hard there, Maurice.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Don't do it, Maurice. Don't do it. Oh, my goodness.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so
sorry. Go back in my pocket, Maurice. Okay. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the NSFWP Podcast. You can find us on the internet at www.nsfwppodcast.com, where you'll find links to all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and our Board Game Geek Guild, as well as a link to our show on iTunes. If you're an iTunes user, please give us a subscribe, a like, and a review if you would. And come back next week for another great episode. Thanks.